everybody, Rebecca here. I am here today to start my eBay series. Gasp. I know, I've focused a lot of my videos on Poshmark, and primarily it's because it's a lot easier than eBay. So one of the biggest, most important questions I get, or reasons that people are hesitant to start listing on eBay, is because of shipping. How do you ship stuff on eBay? That is the magic question, isn't it? How do we ship on eBay? And so I am going to show you how I ship on eBay, and maybe that will help you get started and get your footing down and see if whether or not you want to start selling on there. So if you are trying to decide between eBay and Poshmark, then I have another video for you, and that actually, literally the title of it is Should You Start Selling on eBay or Poshmark? So if you go ahead over into my channel, into my videos, you will find that video. Now, if you are just starting out and you're like, well, let me see if this is a lot of work, or let me see if this is actually feasible to do this, that's what I'm going to show you now. So there's a few things that you're going to need as far as supplies go when it comes to shipping on eBay. The very first thing is a scale, and I've talked about the scale before. You can find them on Amazon pretty easily, or eBay. You can buy them on eBay. And I have a link for this one that I use in the descriptions of this video and all of my videos. So you're gonna need that. The second thing you're gonna need is some packaging tape. Now, I have, like, over the years upgraded all of my stuff. So I have a handy dandy heavy tape container and, you know, the packaging tape, but you can simply go to Walmart and buy any kind of packaging tape. You just want to make sure that the tape is really, really sticky, and you're not buying like Scotch tape packing box type stuff, because you want it to make sure it can go across the country and your box doesn't open and all of your stuff falls out. So you really want to make sure that you have some tape. Now, the next thing you're going to want to make sure is you have are obviously boxes and envelopes. So, if you are shipping items on eBay under £1, you primarily are going to use like small boxes or poly mailers. So you can find these poly mailers all over online on Amazon. You can find the reviews for them. I have a link to the ones that I use below. I don't spend a lot of money on them. You can see maybe a little bit. There's some blue ones up there. I basically order about 100 or 200 a month, or whatever the pack or the deal is, and they seem to last because most of my stuff is sold priority mail. So anything that you sell that's less than £1 goes in a poly mailer, or I recycle a lot. Let me show you. I recycle a lot of my Amazon Prime boxes. So you can use any of these. Oh, well, they're all packaged away. But you can use any of these boxes here, like these Amazon Prime ones. So you can use these, you know, these boxes, they say Prime, it doesn't matter, they all are shippable. Or, like, we live in an apartment complex and people are always putting boxes in our recycling bin, so you can go down and find them there, or dumpsters, or behind, you know, grocery stores, stuff like that. If you want really cheap boxes, you can get them at Walmart, or I have purchased, because I do sell on eBay, I have a store, I get a store credit every quarter. I do sell, or I do have some of these like smaller eBay branded boxes that are 8x6 by 4s, and honestly, I never use them because I use priority mail. So under £1, you need a poly mailer, you need your item, and then you stick it in there. The other thing that you don't have to get right away, you do not need sticky labels. You can print it on paper and then just tape it on there. I did that for a long time before I upgraded the labels. I actually am gonna change the labels that I recommend because I got a new brand. These are the new labels that I'm using. These MF labels. They're 8.5 by 5.5. They're 100. You get 200 labels out of these. And the reason I'm switching is because the other ones that I recommended kept giving me like black ink everywhere. It was ridiculous. I was like, my ink monster. It was crazy. So I'm not doing that anymore. So if you're just getting started, you don't want to buy anything, just buy tape, some of these mailers, and some paper for your printer, okay? So you're just gonna put your item in here, you're gonna seal it, and you're gonna tape your envelope on there. Now, if your item is 9.5 ounces, you are gonna mark this as 10 ounces. It doesn't matter if it's 9.1, 9.9, anything over like the ounce is considered rounding up. You have to round up. Otherwise, the buyer, if the post office is being stingy, the buyer could have to go pick up their package from the post office and pay the difference in postage. And you and I both know that we would be pissed off if we had to go to the post office and pick something up. So it's not really what the customer service you want or experience you want your buyer to have. And so to save everyone issues, you need to do this. That also means that it's over a pound by 1 ounce. If it's 1 pound, 1 ounce, then you have to upgrade your shipping stuff. So make sure when you are weighing your items that you are taking into account the shipping materials, especially when you get into the boxes and other items. These are relatively lightweight, but when you get into the other boxes, it can actually add significant weight to your package. All right, so that's under a pound. You can also have, like I sell some Pandora like little charms, and sometimes I'll put those in little boxes. Those can also be under a pound, and those are the, you just box them up the same way. Now, I also don't believe, all right, in eBay you can charge whatever you want for shipping. eBay is really strongly pushing free shipping, and primarily that's to compete with Amazon, and to, people always want free shipping. That's fine. I have experimented with free shipping, and I have primarily used not free shipping. The only time I do free shipping is either one, if there's a huge margin on one of my items, I'm gonna make a lot of money and it's not that much to ship, or B, it's super lightweight and I know it's gonna be like under 3 pounds regardless of where it is, or under 3 ounces, and it'll cost me like $2 to ship and I'll make a decent amount of money, but I know if I do free shipping, it might sell a little faster. Now, I'm gonna just go through some categories here. Obviously, I don't have time to go through every single category on here, but I'm gonna give you some cheat sheets on things like jeans. So denim, if you've watched any of my other videos, you know that I take my pictures, I fold my stuff up, and I put them in these Ziploc bags. Some people use bread bags, some people use plastic storage bags. I personally like to use the Ziploc bags. It's just my opinion. And then I put these address labels and I write what they are on the item, and then I store them. So when it's time to get them, I pull it out and I say, okay, these jeans just sold. So these jeans, because they have fancy rhinestones and embellishments on them, I am not gonna ship these in a flat rate envelope or a poly mailer. I am gonna ship these in the padded flat rate envelope. And you just slip them in here. It can weigh up to like 25 pounds or something, or 15 pounds. Oh, 4 pounds. Sorry, I totally lied about that. 4 pounds. Max weight is 4 pounds. Oh no, it's 4 pounds for international shipping. I don't know. I have never encountered something where this has weighed more than what is allotted. And I've shoved some crazy stuff into these envelopes. That's another reason I like to use these, because they do slide into these bags a lot easier. They just go in and they slide right down in there. And then when you're using these padded flat rate envelopes, the item has to be completely in the bag. So this it can't be like this, where it can't be like the item is here and you're folding it over the top and then you're trying to tape this. That is not allowed. The flap has to completely close over the lid. So once you close it over the lid, you can reinforce it. But our post office actually looks at the fact of whether or not this flap is completely over the envelope to make sure that it's closed completely. So some don't do that, but mine does, so I have to be very careful about that. So any kind of fancy jeans or bigger jeans that won't fit into a flat rate envelope, I use a padded flat rate envelope. And these are $7.20. And you do get a shipping discount if you use eBay and you buy through eBay, through the post office. So for me, they end up being about $6.50, and I simply charge $6.99 for almost all of my priority shipping, and it just kind of evens out for all my priority shipping that I know is not heavy, that I can fit in one of these methods. And that way I know if it goes in here, it covers it. If it goes in here and covers it. And sometimes I can put it in a box or a poly mailer, and that will cover the expense as well. So for me, it works. That is what I'm using right now. Now, if you're gonna do jeans, and you can put them in a flat rate envelope. So this is a flat rate envelope. And these also have to close completely. So I'm gonna show you my tricks for putting jeans in here. So again, I have them in the bag, right? They're in the bag, they're labeled, and I take the top part, and I fold it. And then whatever the fatter part of this package is, I put it in the bottom of the envelope, okay? So it's in the bottom. And then what you're gonna wanna do is pre-fold this. So if you can see, there's a crease right here, and then if you pre-fold it, it makes it a lot easier to stick it on top when you're done. Again, like I said, it's the same thing. You have to make sure that this lip completely covers the bottom of the envelope. So when you peel this off, you're gonna push it down, and it's already folded. If you hold the two sides and kind of lift up and over, and then wiggle your fingers over in the middle, it will, I'm not gonna tape this because I don't wanna waste it, but it will go completely over like that. I simply tape the sides to make sure it's secure, and then I pop my label right down on the front of there. I have put all kinds of jeans in here. If you get creative, you can kind of get the bottom of this envelope poofed out a little bit. Like I said, it can't be ripped, it can't be torn, it can't look like there's stuff coming out of it. Whatever items you put into these flat rate envelopes has to completely fit in the envelope. I'm assuming everyone gets this because I said it like 10 times, but you can't take one of these, stuff another one inside of there backwards, and then fold it over. That doesn't work. It has to be in one envelope, completely folded over, and that's how I do that. So you can put anything you want in here, and these are even less. These are, I think I pay $5.95 for these, and they're $6.50 regularly for the flat rate envelope. Okay, and I pretty much do this with all of my stuff. So anything that I have that's over a pound, that's clothing, that I can easily stick in these two envelopes in priority mail, that is what I do. Now, if we're talking about shoes, let me grab a pair of shoes. If we have a pair of like just these flats, okay, so we've got these really cute Bowden flats, I will just stick these in this padded flat rate with no issues and put them in there. Like that's not an issue for me. Now, if they are a really embellished shoe or they have some fancy designs on them, sometimes I will give them a good wrap in tissue paper and then stick them in here, or double bag them. But I have to make sure, like I said, they're not big enough, or they're small enough that I can double bag them and still have this lid, the lip, come completely over that. And so you want to make sure that that's the case. Now, if that doesn't work, you do have to upgrade to the boxes. I have found you can either do parcel post, which, I have found with the eBay discount that parcel post ends up being the same as priority mail. Now, if I am on the East Coast, so for me to ship to the West Coast, it's very expensive. I try to offset that cost of the shipping by adjusting my price to reflect that, so people won't buy, okay, let's talk about these. I have some of these Rae Dunn mugs, okay? So you guys are all my Posh and reselling BFF, so I picked this BFF mug, right? And if I'm gonna ship this to the West Coast, this will cost me $11. So this is $11. If I put $11 for shipping for this mug, chances are someone's not gonna buy my mug from me. But if I mark it up by $1 something, and then charge the difference for shipping, then I have a lot of success doing that. So I sell these depending on the style. Now I mark these at about $15 depending on what they are. So $15, and then I charge $9 for shipping. So, you know, it ends up being 20 some dollars, and the mug gets there. Now I'm going to show you how I wrap these mugs. I save all of my shipping stuff from Amazon. Every single piece of it is stored somewhere in here in my little shipping station. But you can either take tissue or you can take bubble wrap, and you're gonna stick it in the mug. You wanna make sure that there's something in the mug before you ship it, okay? And then I take some tissue paper, usually the handy dandy eBay tissue, and I wrap it around the handle. So I make sure that there is a buffer in the handle, and then I roll it, okay? So I wrap it and roll it just like that. Now, I have a giant, forgot to pull it out before I started filming, but I have a giant roll of bubble wrap that I buy on eBay and Amazon, just like this guy right here, right? Giant bubble wrap. And what I do with this, I don't want to rip it because I don't want to, what if I don't use that piece that way? Alright, so the data guru, which is my husband, last night was helping me do this. He's like, you should do a video about this. So thanks to him, you guys are getting a video on this. But I call it now I forget. It's like the flip it, hold on, the flip it, turn it, fold it. Okay, hold on, it was like this. So you're gonna take it, again, I start with the handle, and I flip it, turn it, okay? Flip it, fold it, tape it. I know that's so stupid. And then I tape it all the way around, okay? So flip it, fold it, or turn it, twist it, whatever you want to call it. Flip it, twist it, flip it, tape it. Fold it, tape it, however you want to remember that. But that way you're not using so much bubble wrap that you're wasting it. And the other thing you want to watch is this stuff weighs something. So the more of the bubble wrap and the more tape and all this stuff that you're sticking into your containers is making your package heavier than it needs to be. So you really want to make sure you are only using what you need to. So then I have these priority mail boxes, and you can also use these, the eBay boxes I talked about before. These 8x6x4, okay? These priority ones are 7 1/4, 7 1/4, 6, and the box number on these is, I don't know if I can see it. I don't know, but that's what these are. So I don't know if you can see those. You see that right there? Okay, so 7x7x6, that's what these are. Same as this. No, these are 8x6x4. You can use either of these boxes. So I just, put it together, and then I stick one more sheet of tissue paper or just something in there. Sometimes I've used a Target bag or a grocery bag to make sure that the item, you just don't want the mug, bumping around in that box. You want to make sure that it's secure in the box. And then I got these stickers that just say fragile for the mugs and these kind of things. If you actually write glass, on your box, I have heard from several people that glass is better than fragile. So if you write glass on your boxes of the ceramics that you're selling, then it's more likely that they're gonna get there safely than if you just write fragile. All right, so we covered ceramics, and we covered, so that's what I do. You do not cheap out on shipping when you're shipping these nice things, because the last thing, like I said, is that you want people's stuff to arrive there in good, nice condition. I mean, it'd be awful if someone was expecting something for a gift and then it, arrived there in pieces. And I get that sometimes stuff happens. We can't obviously control everything, But if we have them set up in the right way in the begin with, we set up our packages for a better transit experience than if we're trying to be, you know, stringent with our shipping supplies. Now, in the past, I have done, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. So in the past, I have done videos about my shipping, how I have my bookcases here, and I have all of my extra supplies down there. But these are all priority mail. These are flat rates. These are poly mailers. So for me, staying organized is one of the keys to shipping on eBay, because I know where all my items are. I know how much they can weigh in each box. You know, I have the tissue, I have all this stuff. You can recycle shipping materials. Again, you don't have to go out and buy a million boxes and spend a crap ton of money getting ready to ship on eBay. It really, people are making it harder than it is. And sometimes when you just, like now I'm in the groove of it. I mean, I can ship a ton of stuff quickly because I know exactly what I'm listing or what I'm shipping, what I'm gonna package it in, how much it weighs. If you guys watch Casa Chic over on her videos, she shared that she actually, I don't know if she put in a video or if I saw it on Instagram, but she actually puts the weight of the item on here, so it's even easier for her when she goes to do the shipping. You can put it right on here. Now, there are a couple things you can do when you're shipping on eBay. We talked about actually shipping the items. Now, once you get them packaged up, that is when you want to weigh your items. You don't, like I said, this stuff weighs something. So if you just weigh these jeans and they're close and this puts you over and you've already paid for your label on eBay, then you have to redo it and void out that label and print another label, and it's like a whole thing, right? So you want to avoid the whole thing. You just want to make it easy for yourself. Now, if you have something, let's say you're shipping like boots or men's shoes or something heavier, and you're using like a priority mail shoe box like this, or something else that you have these bigger items to sell. When you go onto eBay, and I can't show you from my phone, but when you go onto eBay and you go to print your shipping label, there is going to be an option that you put the dimensions of your box and the weight in there. And there's an option on that screen where you can see the other shipping options. So there have been times for me, because I said I'm on the East Coast, where a regional box A has been cheaper to send than something that I couldn't fit in a padded flat rate. So I do have those regional boxes, and they are up here. So it's important for you to know where you live and what the typical shipping price is for you on the East Coast and the West Coast, because the more that you can kind of gauge your pricing, the easier it is when you're listing your items. And I know this is a lot of information and you're probably like your head's gonna explode, but I tried to break it down into super easy bite-sized pieces for you, so that when you list your first 5 items on eBay, or if you're trying to list your stuff on eBay, you have an idea of the things that you need to get started in being successful on shipping on eBay, right? So what did we say? We said you need a scale. So when you need a scale, you need shipping tape, boxes, and paper, and a printer. That's basically all you need to get started, and some free shipping supplies. All you have to do is go onto the USPS website and you can order these. They will deliver them right to your house. Sometimes it takes about a week to get them, so don't wait till you need them to order them. And you're gonna need some poly mailers or some envelopes, something to put the items in for the lightweight stuff. And that's about it. I just started doing the bags recently once I upped my volume and my sales started to increase. Before, I just stored it and then I would just wrap it in paper and tape it, tissue paper, and send it. So it's up to you as far as what you want to do. I would highly encourage you to put it in something, whether you get bread bags with stickers or whatever, because knowing that these items are being stored and protected makes me feel so much better when I go to ship them and I know that nothing happened to them during storage. So for me, it's peace of mind. I also have pets, so to keep the dog hair out of this and keep any weird smells out of this, that's why I prefer using the Ziploc bags. And like I said, these Ziploc bags slide right into these flat rate envelopes very easily. As you upgrade your stuff, you know, you can add fancy shipping tape, custom shipping tape, you can do the labels. Like I said, I just switched to those MF labels. You can ship anything in these padded flat rate envelopes as long as you can completely close the envelope flap on them, which is great because there are so many things you can fit in these and you save your buyers money. That is what we want, is to save our buyers money. You don't have to do free shipping, but you also should not price gouge your customers trying to make extra money on the back end and shipping. I don't like that. I don't like that business model. I don't think it's right. I think that if I make, you know, 50 cents on shipping, if I charge $6.99 and it's $6.50, that goes towards my bubble tape and my wrap and my tissue and all those kind of things. And I'm not price gouging, because actually if they bought it from the post office, it would be $7.20. So it's actually, what, 21 cents cheaper than buying it straight out from the post office. So I hope this answers some of your questions for shipping on eBay. I have a whole video about shipping on Poshmark on my channel, and I really love eBay as a method for a side hustle. You guys, I have been sick for a long time. It's been hard for me to work full time, and this has allowed me the freedom to make money on my own terms and be my own boss again, which is really, really, really what I've always wanted. So I thank you for watching. I hope this helps, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.